Hi, I'm Adelaide Cree, the A to Z of Romance author, and today I wanted to share my website with you because I know when I was starting out as an author, I wanted to find the best program to use without actually having to spend a lot of money. Because I know there's some options where it can cost a lot, and I decided to use Google Sites, which is free, as long as you have a Google a Gmail account, which obviously most people do. And so what we're looking at here is my website, and I'll run through it. I'm not gonna show how to make it, but if you want me to show you how I made mine, comment below, and I can create a separate video for that. So this is my homepage. As you can tell, I've I've got the top banner, which I wanted to add so I could ask people or remind people to purchase, to read, and to review my books because I'm doing very small marketing at the moment. I'm going to try and increase it next month. But by rating and reviewing the books, as long as obviously they're good reviews, it'll increase my noticeability. And then in the algorithms, it would also increase my rankings and send it off to more readers to purchase. And then I did a click CTA or call to action button, which would take me to my books page, which we'll go through next. Um, and then you've got the header banner. This is actually a picture of Chatworth House where I went when I went to visit. Beautiful place if you get a chance. And then I have my logo here. Um, And then on the right, so in Google Sites, you can put the navigation at the top or on the left-hand side. I don't think you can do it on the right. You can do it on the left though. But I like how it looks kind of neat on the top there. And I have my home. I have all the books that I've published, including one that's coming out. I'm still trying to figure out how to see how it cuts off. I'm still trying. I have a feeling I don't know if it's possible or I have to do some sort of Google scripting to make that work. My blogs, my about, subscribe, and then Google. I don't think you can hide this. This is a search bar, which then you can search the website for anything. And that was this. This is you can actually hide the header. So if you didn't want to use it, you don't need this section. But I actually like it, and you can do it this size. You can actually do it the whole page. So some Google sites you'll see just one single picture as when you open up the website, which kind of looks neat, but I wanted users to see the book straight away, even if it was a little bit. You can actually make this header banner smaller, but I also wanted the users to see Chatworth House because I think it looks pretty cool, especially because I'm currently writing Regency romance, so that historical picture looks cool. So the next section, this was actually you, I'm pretty sure it's called sections. And this was a four-part section. So the four-part section, how they do it is you can add an image and you can add text underneath each of the four. But I actually deleted the text box and I created buttons instead. And then I added extra buttons on top. So the buttons on top, if you click on it, it will take you to my books to read, which is I self-published through Draft to Digital, and then it uploads to all these websites here. Except for Google Play. I actually had to manually upload to Google Play. But then you can add a link from Google Play to to Draft to Digital that will upload to this website. I have a feeling Draft to Digital bought books to read, and that's why it's two different websites. And then if you click on Learn More takes you to the book page, which is in this navigation as well. But I'll go through that in a second. And so I have it for each of the three novels. So these are full-length novels that I published, and then this is a novella, which I've clearly put on the title. And this is actually a free book, so it's what I'm trying to do, which I've researched, is by releasing a free novella or even just a snippet, you want to it like attracts readers to then buy your other novels. So uh, it's supposed to be like a cheap marketing tool. Um, and I originally I was gonna call this a Christmas tide vow because it originally was supposed to be a holiday romance, but then as I was writing it, so holiday romances are supposed to be 75% of the book, but the book actually got longer and longer than because I was only gonna do like a fast fiction. But then it got to 10,000 words, then 20,000 words, and I was like, oh, this is a novella. And then because it's connected to the third book, so this chemistry at Cross Keys, and so the middle of the book is actually set in summertime. So it wasn't a Christmas film, sorry, Christmas book. But then I'm selling it now. Well, I'm giving it away for free now at Christmas. That's why I made the book cover like it still looks Christmassy. But I wanted to leave the pink in because the pink connects to the chemistry across keys. Because I'm going to have four different theme colors. So as you can imagine, my series is A to Z of romance, Regency, Raven Seal series. So my it's like my brand is A to Z of romance because eventually I actually have ideas for writing romantasy and contemporary as well. And so then it would be A to Z of romance, contemporary, A to Z of romance, romantasy, and in the series name. And the reason why I did Raven Seal series instead of just A to Z of romance Regency is if I ever wanted to write another series in Regency, I'd have to call it something else besides A to Z of romance Regency. And so the Raven Seal series is based on the Raven Seal branch, which is like a branch of the Home Office protecting the crown and country in 1817 England. And it's the love stories of the men and women who work in the Raven Seal branch. Um, but yeah, so the chemist Lily is an offshoot is actually a side character in a chemistry across keys. Um, and one of my readers wanted me to tell the story of Lily, so that's where that novella came from. But anyway, I think I got sidetracked. So I have three colors here. So green is actually going to represent all my enemies to lovers books. So because it's 20, okay, now I figured out why I sidetracked. It was because so A to Z of romance. Obviously, there's 26 books, but if you divide it by four, it doesn't. It's not an equal number. So I knew two books would be would either have to go to four of um the main trope that I was gonna create for you, or do its own thing. And so what I decided was I do six books of each trope. So green represents enemies to lovers, blue represents friends to lovers, pink represents a second chance romance, and then I'm actually currently writing my fourth book, which is I call it Clara, but you um or Maroon, and that's forced proximity. So they're the main tropes, but you could have other tropes, like subtropes in it. So, like for example, the main trope for an affair at Apsley House is enemies to lovers, because as soon as they meet each other, they absolutely hate each other. Um, but then because it's the setting is actually a house party in Apsley House, and so it's forced proximity. So, but like my whole sort of marketing, selling, promotion side is eventually I could get six books in a bundle and sell them as my enemies to lovers bundle. Originally, I was going to do different heat levels, but according to the rules of a debut author, you do not. Especially if you're trying to get that audience, you want to stick to one heat level. So, and because the chemistry across keys originally was going to be sweet romance, um, just because of the sort of like not the darker side, sort of the deeper backstory and trauma that the male protagonist goes through. I couldn't make it like sexy or erotic or whatever. So then I had to come to a balance, and I decided to make them all sensual, which still fits if I ever wanted to go the traditional publishing route. Supposedly fits in that Harlequin Penguin at Random House bucket. But as you can tell, they're all uniform. So, um, yeah. So it looks like a brand. Like, and then I've got the Raven Seal um, branch um, stamp there. So everyone knows like it's my books. I'm using this because I've never published books before. So I'm using this as a platform to create my brand. But I absolutely love Regency. So I grew up on Jane Austen, and um I just love that world. And yeah. So yeah, and then so the next section down is so this is actually a card. So the card is you got an image on the left, and then you got text on the right. And when the card comes up, it actually comes up with a title box and then the text box and then a blank image. So yeah, so as you can tell, that's what I did. I added a button at the bottom, so that learn more button will then go to this book, A Diversion at Dyer Park. Um, then I have an about the author page just so people can see me. But then like I was gonna do a button here, but like what if you scroll down to here, the about's over here, so that's why I was like, I don't think I need another button. And then I've got pictures of my travels. Oh, there's the Chatworth House. Picture you. Um, I did a little quote. I always find it more aesthetically pleasing when you break it up with pictures. And I like the fact that you can add a picture as the background and then words on top. And I did like because John Keats is that sort of like historical romance poet. So then I thought it goes well with my series. This talks about the series itself. I could have gone. Eventually, I think I'll create its own page because the way I created this whole series was quite intricate. Um, I love spreadsheets, so it's very technical. If you want me to talk about that, drop a comment below, and I can tell you. And then I add a little section just for a quote. I wanted to mention that. So when you set up a Google site, you can choose, there's already templates you can choose from, like pretty much like if you open up a PowerPoint presentation and you can choose from one of the templates, you can do that with Google Sites as well. But I was just choosing your own theme or starting off with a theme and then turning it into your own theme. Because with your own theme, so see how like the home here is black and then white, and then it's not bold on these ones. That's me creating that theme here. I can actually change it. I think, can I? Let's scroll to the top. Oh yeah, so see at the top how it turned to gold? That's from my own theme. So on other themes, you might not have that I noticed when I was looking at the templates, it didn't have that option to do that. And I think I was browsing like a website that had like best Google sites or something. And I saw that. I'm like, how do you do it? And I learned it's because you have to create your own custom theme. Because then you have more control over the settings. What else? Where are we up to? Okay, so then I have another section where you can add videos, which is really cool. These are embed. So what you do is you grab the URL and then you click on the embed button and you can actually embed it by URL or by coding. And obviously URL is the best. Can you actually oh yeah, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that. You can play it on the actual website. Um so yeah, I have two of those. Uh-oh. Think I'm frozen. Oh, Oh no, I'm not present on my screen. 2 seconds. Oh, I think my screen's frozen. Oh, of course it is. Okay, I'm back. Here we go. So in the next section, again, I chose a three column section, and I took out the text boxes at the bottom, and I just added the images, and then I added links on, because when you add an image, you can actually make it hyperlinkable, so it goes to a website. So when I click on it, it goes to my Instagram, and so then people will see my Instagram, which still new, but and then it has a link back to my website. So you always, from what I understand, is you always want to bring people back to your website, because when you bring people back to your website, they'll sign up to your mailing list, and that's like the number one place that you want people to sign up to. So then you have that audience, and they know when your next book is coming out. And then this, from this section onwards, this is actually my footer. Like it's actually a pretty long footer. Like it doesn't look like a footer because this is white and then this is gold. And I made it that way, so it looks like this is actually part of this homepage. Um, but you'll see why later on why I did it that way. So yeah, so this is what I created this through Google Script. So this is actually is embed again. This joined the A to Z of Romance Reader Circle. Um, all I did was I created this using Google Script, and then I refined it using ChatGPT, because I don't know if you know this, but ChatGPT was originally to create code, so it's definitely useful for that. But what happens is when a user inputs their name and email address and click on subscribe, it will be loaded onto a Google sheet. So I have the list, and then they get an email asking them to confirm that they want to sign up. So this is the whole, so I don't get any bots. So once they click on it, and they'll get a confirmation email saying that they've been subscribed, and then they'll actually, you don't see it on this website because it's a hidden page, but it's actually a thank you for subscribing. Check out my website, and here's a free novella. Um, Again, that's part of creating a website. So if you're interested in that, let me know, and I can show you. And then I added this double sign just in case there was any issues signing up. Let's Connect takes you to this about page, I think. Yeah, because on the about page I have the contact info at adelaideagree.com. But before we get to that, I'm going to go back down, because underneath that is the actual footer. Let me set this up. So you have the info at adelaideagree.com here, and then you just have links to things. So at the moment I have books, and then underneath, which is pretty much this navigation here, except for I don't have D or the novella, so I might have to change that out. Then I have kitty cameos, poetry, these two, and then I think for authors, you don't find that in the main navigation. It's more of a like a side hustle, I guess, or side topic. Not the main focus. And with the kitty cameos, I'll show you in another page. I actually have them there. But if anyone wants to go straight to the kitty cameos, they can do that. And then yeah, I have the blogs, which is the same button up here. And in this last column, I did the privacy policy, cookie policy. When you create a Google or any web page, you need to have a privacy and cookie policy. You can get that from, I think I got this from like a government website, like when I went on to the US Gov, and then they had templates you can use, and you just change it up with your name. It's all very basic standard language. Yeah. And then I have the links to my socials. So, The ones that I'm actually focusing on are YouTube and Instagram. And then I'm cross posting onto Facebook. I have some, I heard on a podcast you should have a Facebook group just so it's a community group. Like, so if anyone wanted to start talking to anyone else, I have no one on my Facebook at the moment, but eventually, if they start conversing, I'll try and get involved. Um, Goodreads, because obviously that's where a lot of people go on to check out books. I do have a couple of reviews, but obviously I'd love more. And because I haven't paid for any ARC readers yet, or I actually did my first email blast through BookFunnel today, so we'll see how that goes. That's for the Lily novella, because I'm hoping people read it and then they wanted them um, purchase my other books. And then I use Pinterest. So again, on a podcast, the podcast I'm referring to is the Spa Girls podcast. Really good for self-publishing authors if you're into podcasts. And one of their guests said that Pinterest is a marketing tool. So you just keep posting onto Pinterest like you're advertising. And then obviously make sure you link it back to your website or wherever you're trying to link it to. And then I have Substack because originally I was going to do my subscriber list through Substack. But I went to a writers conference recently, and one of the speakers said that Substack had just got like another injection of cash or something, and they were gonna change the algorithm, and it wasn't gonna be good for the user. So and because I was still very new at it, like I've been posting blogs onto it just to post, but I don't have any subscribers, so I'm not too fussed. But I'm leaving it there for now because they actually have this podcast option, which I might eventually do. But I'm a big YouTube fan, so I might just do it on YouTube if I ever do. All right. Next. So yeah. So I won't go through all the books, but like for example, An Affair at Apsley House. When you open up the page, um, you've got the title. I click on this, so buy now. So that'll take you to the books to read. Um, and then oh yeah, I did a little picture, just saying available on all major platforms. Did I miss yours? Because good books to read or drafted digital, they have a list of automatic um websites that you can publish to. But you can I've mentioned it before, but you can add your own. So like, because Google Play, you have to manually do it yourself and then add the link to it. So some people might have I don't know all the um apps or books. So I wanted to let people know. It's like, well, if you have one, let me know. And then I'm like, if someone sent me an email and said, "Oh, can I just buy it directly off you?" and you send me the EPUB, I'll do it. Like, obviously, it saves me on fees and all that jazz. So next thing, there's this section or this um I forgot what they're called, option to choose a sneak peek. So what happens is it looks like this little box here is one section. You add the sneak peek, and then when you drop it, you've got the rest of the text. So the title, obviously, this is the title. Oh, just so you can see the hyperlink, you can actually copy this and then like save it somewhere else. So when they click on it, it'll take them to the sneak peek. And so this is chapter one. Mm, yes, it's chapter one. So people can read my writing before they buy the book. They like it. Oh, I want to buy it. Obviously, this is the title. This is the cover, which I created through um, Adobe Express mainly. I had to use Photoshop for a few things, but I actually really like Adobe Express. It's quite simple to use. Um, I wish there was a bit more features from Photoshop, but obviously, I think it's still a new program. But it's like I think it was their version of competing with Canva because Canva was so popular. And then I have the blurb. I added the ISBN just so people know it's a real, like I own the ISBN. It's legitimate. I did the tropes here. So I did the main trope plus two sub tropes so they understand. 'Cause, lately, it's been all about tropes. So like people just look at the tropes and like, oh, I like those tropes. I want to read it. And I must admit, I tend to like, I like enemies to lovers and I like house parties and forced proximity. I guess that's why I read that first. Again, I had so you want to buy this buy now button everywhere, so people want to buy your book. And then I so originally when I was trying to figure out like because I sent this off to editors and beta readers to see if they like the book, and then I saw this competition with the Pacific Northwest Writers Association, and all I saw was critique, and I'm like, oh, I want that, and because it was like, I think $85, which included two critiques and entering the actual competition. I don't even know what the first prize was. Um, yeah, so I entered it. Like it was like unedited. Well, like it was made. I got it edited for like just to make sure I thought it was correct, but then later on, like I think I got it edited back in January, and it wasn't until like June when I realized it was actually a really bad draft. Um, well, like in terms of editing, I learned a lot of editing in the last like from January till May, I think, because then I found this editor who was so good, and I was like, oh my God, I've been doing this all wrong. But yeah, so but anyway, the critique came back, and I got 96 out of 100. Which I thought was really good. So I thought I'd post the critique on my website so people know, like, I'm a real writer, and I actually tried to, um, like, promote my work through competitions. And so, yeah, so I got a finalist badge here. I didn't place, which isn't surprising because, so I told you I got two critiques. Like, this one I got 96 out of 100, which, and I love this bit of comment was, hope it's finished so author can post to an editor agent. Oh, this is a great story. As a reader, I was pulled right into the story. So I was like, oh my God. I was jumping with joy. The other one was 89, 89 out of 100 or 91. I think it was 89. And I think it was because, was it on this? Because they gave you another, um, uh, oh, I think it was this mechanics. Mechanics and showing versus telling. I'd have to look at it, but yeah, I got 89, which was still to me still good, but obviously I think the people who won had better grammar, and I think I'd get a lot better if I submitted it now. So I'm thinking of submitting it to competition still. So the next section is a video embed, which I showed before. And this is actually a scene from the book that I created. And so they're in the book they're in the conservatory alone, and that's why I think let's scroll up. So it goes, listen to the rain in the conservatory where Adrian and Adeline find themselves alone together while you read the book. And so this is actually a photo of me, a photo that I took when I was at Kew Gardens in London. And the original photo, it's actually because London's London and it was raining outside. So the outside looked really gloomy, really dark, and I wanted a bit more nature. So the photo that you see with the tree and flowers is actually from another garden that I visited, and I just meshed them together, which kind of makes it look more nature-like. Um, and then yeah, so this is my kitty cameos. So I on the side, another side project I do is I foster kittens, and so Apollo was one. Apollo was my first foster kitten, along with Atlas, and so I just wrote, Apollo made a brief appearance in the book, but just as he zoomed out of the Duchess of Wellington's arms, he is just as energetic in real life. So then if they click on this image, it'll take them to like the story of Apollo, which is really sweet. And he's living the best of life with his adopter. Next section is historic houses. So I write Regency romance, and one of the things that Regency romance readers tend to like is historical accuracy and having real places. So it's actually set in Apsley House, which is a famous house on the corner of Hyde Park. Um, and I wanted to also support um, uh, the communities that help protect these beautiful buildings. So I plan to create for each book the different sites that are mentioned in the book. So if you click on this one, for example, so this is a picture I found on Wikipedia. That's of Apsley House, a drawing of Apsley House. And then when you click on historic houses, these are all the places mentioned in the first book. So you have Apsley House, Cowdray House, which is where the female protagonist lives. And then so then you can click, if you clicked on Cowdray Estate, it takes you to, yes, the website. So I'm giving recognition where recognition is due. Petworth House, that's my photo. Maybe I should have changed the sky. But yeah, so then you click on this and it should take you to the National Trust. Yep, Petworth. Beautiful. You can actually catch a train to Petworth from London. That's how I got there. And I totally recommend it. I love train travel. Grosvenor Square, that's around Nostell, which is where the Wakefield seat is. Or my Duke of Wakefield, his country estate is. And then, oh yeah, so going back to the footer. And so see how from there it goes, it looks like, because you always want, if they haven't subscribed, you want to give them as many opportunities to subscribe. So then that's that. So let's go back. So from historic houses, I have currently I have what's happening on Pinterest, but I might change it so there's like what's happening on my socials. So, and then I'll do one on Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube. Um, and then I added this little thing, so the read the viewer will only see this if they actually scroll down. And so it's actually a little bonus story, which is a detour in Mayfair. They're doing a walking tour through Mayfair, and then the female protagonist detours. And so it's that story. I actually put it in the. Eventually, I actually have it in the book, so this is like another freebie if they're not sure if they want to read my books. Um, uh, I do need to update that because I had to change the Royal Academy. So I as I wrote the book, I uh, obviously right now in our time, the Royal Academy is on Piccadilly, but in 1817 it was actually at oh what uh Sussex House, Sutton House. Oh blimey, it's along the Thames. It'll come to me. Um, but it wasn't on Piccadilly. Where the Royal Academy is now, it's actually the Egyptian Hall. It was the Egyptian Hall. So I had to change it to the Egyptian Hall. And then, yeah, and then again, you've got the start of the footer. Okay, what else do we have? I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, Lily. Let's show you Lily. So I originally called it A Christmas Tide Bell, but now it's called Lily. I made sure to add a Chemistry Across Keys novella, so then if people enjoy Lily, I do have it on the back matter, like by Chemistry Across Keys, but then they can also Google Chemistry Across Keys. Um, and, it also like so in the cover it actually has the Raven Seal series and then the A to Z of Romance stamp. So I'm able to put all the branding. Yeah, hopefully everyone says it looks neat and tidy. So yeah, so the novella is free on major platforms. I did find out that some platforms won't allow it to be free. I thought Amazon would allow free books, but when I tried to upload it to Amazon, it blocked it. So I can't have it on Amazon. But but what I've given the option is if they scroll down, they can actually download an EPUB or a PDF, and then they'll be able to then upload it to their own platform. So that's that option. That's actually a picture of of uh oh blimey, what's it called? It is Yellow House. Poles and Lacey. This is the back garden of Poles and Lacey. Totally recommend it. Again, I think I caught a train to Poles and Lacey. And then what else? We got blogs. So what I did with the blogs is, um, what I've done is, oh yeah, so this is a image, I think. This is, no. This is an embed. So what I've done is I've embedded the website. And so when you do an embed with the website, it'll show this text box and it actually attaches a picture. But the problem doing it that way is like the pictures look weird here, but if you do it with the picture attached, the blog one, blog two will be different. Like it won't be straight across. And I think I prefer that. Looking at the pictures, I might have to change the way the pictures are set up because it to me it looks kind of messy. But yeah, that's it. That's why it's like that. And then again, you got the footer. The about section, we sort of saw that before, but this is just story of my life. And then I'm gonna add like as I get badges, I'll add them at the bottom to give that authenticity. And then the final one, oh yeah, it's the subscribe page. So if you don't know, you should have a subscribe button everywhere. And then with this Google site, so what it is I created the button to create the page, but this page is actually blank. So it's actually all it has is the title subscribe, and then it's got the footer. And so it looks like it's its own page. The only reason why you can tell it's not its own page is see the big gap in between. You can't really change that. Um, and then that takes you to the footer. And that's how that works. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, so then if you click on the logo, for example, it'll take you back to home. So you can see the home there. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Just trying. I feel like there might have been something else. Yeah, but yeah, if you want to know how I made the website, if you have any questions on any particulars, leave a comment below. And if you want me to make that video of how to make a Google site, I'm more than happy to show you guys. Yeah, I won't make it if you're not interested. um, I'm recording this through Microsoft Record, I think it's called. Um, but yeah, hope to see you in the next video. Bye.